Hi, I'm Luke from Art Cyclery. I'm going to show you how to do a very basic bike fit today. There's a lot of different schools of thought on how to fit yourself on a bicycle. Pages have been written about them all. I'm not going to get into any theories or arguments today. I'm just going to show you how to set yourself up on the bike you get from Art Cyclery. We always recommend that you go to one of your local bike shops to get fit, or anyone you feel comfortable with doing a professional fit, because you will really realize the benefits when you're super dialed into your bike. So to start with, you're going to unbox your bike, set it all up. It's easiest to do this if it's in a trainer. If you don't have a trainer, you can lean up against a wall. You can actually pedal around with the method that I'm going to show you how to use. It helps if you have a buddy to kind of look at you and see what you look like on the bike as well, but not totally necessary. So first of all, ideally you'd set the bike up in the trainer. Make sure the bike is level. You're going to level the saddle, and once you are all done with that, you can start the actual fit. So today Brad's going to help us out. I'm going to fit Brad on this bike here. The first thing that you want to do, Brad, go ahead and sit on the bike. The first thing we're going to do is get the correct saddle height. So the easiest way and quickest way to get in the ballpark, almost right on, is going to be to put your heel so the axle of the pedal bisects your heel. Rotate all the way down to the very bottom of the stroke, and your knees should be pretty much locked at this point. You don't want to have to rock your hips back and forth to reach the bottom for this, but you want your knee to be locked. So that looks pretty good. And then when you put your foot back and click into the pedal, you'll see that his knee will be bent pretty close to a 30-degree bend, which is about what you're looking for. So there we go. So go ahead, pedal, Brad. And that might be a touch low, but it's pretty close. So once we have saddle height, we want to get the fore and aft of the saddle correct. Once again, there's lots of different schools of thoughts on where you should be fore and aft. I'm not going to get into that here. I'm just going to show you how to get yourself in a pretty neutral position. So I'm going to grab my plumb bob here. And if you don't have one of these, you can take a long string and tie a bunch of washers to the end of it. That'll do the same thing. Anything where you're going to have a straight string. So now what we're going to do, stop pedaling for a sec please, Brad. We're going to line up the crank arm so the cranks are parallel with the ground. And this is a method where you can set this up yourself. Then we're going to take the plumb bob and hang it straight off the bike until it measures up with the end of the crank arm. So once those are level, you find that spot, you are going to mark it. Piece of tape on your top tube. And when you do this, once again, this is going to be in the ballpark. You can go ahead and pedal, and as you're looking down, kind of judge where your knees are when your crank arms are parallel to the ground. And by seeing where your knees are, you can make some adjustments fore and aft with your saddle. So go ahead and start pedaling, Brad. And you want to be in your cycling position, so hands on the hoods or hands somewhere around here. It can be kind of tricky to make sure you're looking at the right spot when your pedals are, or your crank arms are parallel to the ground, but it's possible to do. Another way to do this is to have a buddy take the plumb bob. Okay, Brad, hold on for a sec, stop pedaling. And once again, we're going to go crank arms parallel to the ground. You're going to try and mimic the angle of the foot as closely as you can to your actual pedaling motion. So Brad his foot was angled about like that. And then you're just going to drop the plumb bob off the top of the kneecap, and you want the end of that to line up with the end of the crank arm. And that looks pretty good. There's also a method to drop it off of this protuberance right here under the kneecap, in which case you'd want it to line up right under the pedal axle. So that's just a real neutral place to get yourself set up in. Once again, some people believe in this, some people don't. I'm just going to give you the tools to get yourself set up like that if you want. So once we have the saddle height and the saddle fore and aft dialed in, the only thing left to do is to get your stem where you want it. Setting your stem up has as much to do with comfort as it does performance and geometry. The way Brad's set up right now, you can see he's pretty stretched out. This would be a position for more of an aggressive rider, someone who's not as concerned about keeping their back as comfortable over a long ride, say a century, or someone who's going on a bike tour. Brad's getting a little lower here. He's going to be more aerodynamic. He's going to be farther forward when he's climbing for more power, and farther out over the front wheel when he's sprinting for more power as well. Say you don't want to be low like that, you need a little extra comfort for your back. The only thing you can do at this point, once you go get your bike fit, you can swap stems out, but right now, the only thing we can do is flip the stem over, and I'll show you how to do that real quick. Brad, thank you. Step off of there. So, what we do for this, you're going to unscrew the top cap of the bike. Whenever you're working on carbon parts, you should probably use a torque wrench as well. Loosen the stem bolts. And the stem will slide off the bike. Now you're going to have to remove the handlebar as well, flip the stem over, tighten the faceplate bolts back up, and then you can slide the stem back on, but it's going to be angled upwards like this, which will take a lot of the pressure off your back. It'll shorten the reach, taking pressure off your wrist as well. Just going to be a lot more comfortable than the slammed aggressive position. Once again, take the bike into your local fit guru, have them fit you on the bike just to make sure that you're right where you need to be. But this is a good way to get you set up in the ballpark, and you should be able to do several rides this way without feeling uncomfortable. Once again, I'm Luke from Art Cyclery. If you have any questions about fits, any of the bikes we carry, feel free to give us a call. Look us up online at www.artcyclery.com. Thanks for watching.